Good morning. Today I'm switching it up a little bit. We're going to be reading the letter 3rd John, which is a short little letter at the end of the New Testament. Only has 15 verses in it, and I have some brief things to say about 3rd John. So here we go. The elder to the beloved Gaius, whom I love in truth. Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you, and that you may be in good health, as it goes well with your soul. For I rejoiced greatly when the brothers came and testified to your truth, as indeed you are walking in the truth. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children are walking in the truth. Beloved, it is a faithful thing you do in all your efforts for these brothers, strangers as they are, who testified to your love before the church. You will do well to send them on their journey in a manner worthy of God, for they have gone out for the sake of the name, accepting nothing from the Gentiles. Therefore, we ought to support people like these, that we may be fellow workers for the truth. I have written something to the church, but Diotrephes, who likes to put himself first, does not acknowledge our authority. So, if I come, I will bring up what he is doing, talking wicked nonsense against us. And not content with that, he refuses to welcome the brothers, and also stops those who want to, and puts them out of the church. Beloved, do not imitate evil, but imitate good. Whoever does good is from God. Whoever does evil has not seen God. Demetrius has received a good testimony from everyone, and from the truth itself. We also add our testimony, and you know that our testimony is true. I had much to write to you, but I would rather not write with pen and ink. I hope to see you soon, and we will talk face to face. Peace be to you. The friends greet you. Greet the friends, every one of them. All right, so precious little letter. John writes to Gaius here, and there's a few things there's a lot we could talk about, but one of the big things I want to mention here has to do with joy. So, verse 4, it says, I have no greater joy than to hear that my children are walking in the truth. The big question here for us to consider is what is it that brings us joy? What is it that brings us joy? Because oftentimes these are the things that we're going to be going after and striving for, and then potentially if we don't, if that thing isn't going the way we want, it can bring about some despair even. And so when our joy is in the Lord, uh, what that's going to do is that all of our joy is then oriented towards Him, and the things that we're joyful about are oriented towards Him in one way or another. And so having, I have no greater joy than to hear that my children are walking in the truth. This has nothing to do with John getting something from the children here, which would be like this is like the church. So it's not that he's getting anything from them or receiving anything from them, because sometimes it's like you gotta be careful of replacing our joy and getting something from somebody. Um, Instead, it's like the greatest joy is if you're following the Lord. That's it. I don't need anything from you. I'm not wanting anything from you. Just follow the Lord. That's where there's great joy. And that's a great heart to have, because it's a heart that's set upon the Lord first. And it's not a heart that's set upon, like, what is it that I can get from this person for me in some way? So if you are honoring the Lord, that's the greatest. I have joy. That's the greatest joy that I have, because that's the most important thing. Um, so, where is it that you are placing your joy? Is it in the Lord, or is it in something else? Um, And another thing to look into here, there's someone in the church that is not acknowledging John's authority, Diotrephes here, and so he's talking terribly about John, and he's not even content with just doing that, but is also not receiving the people that are sent, and he's even putting people out of the church. And he says that about Diotrephes that he likes to put himself first. So that's uh, a selfish heart. It's like, all right, I'm putting myself first. I'm above all these other people. I'm not acknowledging authority because I am my own authority and I am your authority. And it's a selfish and prideful heart. And the way that we combat against that is recognizing that uh, God is the one who's in authority, and He is the one that we are to be pleasing and finding our joy in, as we talked about um, before. And so, uh, in terms of like thinking, like what do we learn about God? Like we know that God's sovereign and in control and in authority, and He provides commands for His people's to His church to follow, and so that's where um, we get that instruction from the Word, and so we have to have our minds set on the Word. We have to know the Word to be able to know what is it that God has said, and then God has set up certain authorities in life, whether it's elders in the church or parents in the home, there's certain order to which God has created life to work, and all of these uh, sub authorities are under the authority of God first. And so none of those sub authorities can place themselves first, and if they do, then they're taking the place of God. God is the highest authority, and everything else falls in line underneath that. And so we're called to imitate good and to not imitate evil. And so this is to walk like Christ has walked, to walk in love, humility, compassion, that sacrificial love uh, towards others. And we see this with John as he's writing to Gaius, as he desires to, he loves them, he wants to see them, doesn't want, he'd rather not write with his pen, wants to see and talk face to face, and he, please greet the people that are there. So we see his love for the church here, and we see his compassion and care for them as there's this person that is causing some problems. And so he reminds them of where his joy is, which is going to help them and remind them of, like, even though there's this thing going on with Diotrephes, where is it that our joy is set upon? And so for today, for you, as you go about your day, think again about where is it that my joy is set upon. Is it upon Christ or upon something else? And I want to encourage you to set your joy upon the Lord. So, again, keep a close watch on your life and doctrine today.